listening to the Karstcast Moviecast.
Hello, welcome to the... just cut it. Welcome to the 65th episode of the Karstcast Moviecast. I'm here with my co-host Jeff, and I have a quick question. It is, No. How do I word this? Christmas Island is a territory of what country?
Ooh, I used to, when I used to like have a globe that I would just look at a lot when I was younger, I knew this.
Yeah.
Oh man, I definitely used to know this. We're gonna just say Chile.
It is Australia.
Australia.
Yeah.
I knew it was like in the Pacific. I just
Yeah.
forgot like which side of the Pacific.
Right. So this is nice because I was gonna say I just graduated, but I have a question. Another geography.
Yeah, I was
question.
gonna bring that up. I didn't want to make you bring up your own graduation.
No.
But then you did the bit in the beginning where you played the
Yeah,
music.
I
So
had
then
to bring.
you kind of brought it up.
I brought it up, but Australia, is that? I thought that was a continent.
So
But
Australia is a country and a continent. You knew it was a country, right?
Yeah. But I also I remember being taught in elementary school that's Australia. That's one of the continents. And I was okay. But
yeah,
it's not.
So Australia
it
is a continent. So
because it's not a part of the
Christmas
other.
Island is not a part of the continent of Australia.
Yeah, it's just
It's a part of the country of Australia.
right. Yeah, because
Are you? Yeah. So that right. We're on the same page.
we're clicking. Yeah.
So
yeah, I
like
know
the
what you're
U.S. Has overseas territories as well. Mm-hmm. So the reason I know one I'm thinking of, I just don't remember how to pronounce it, but it's American and it looks like it's Samoa, but it's not exactly pronounced like that.
It's it's the one state that who was it? Not state. Let's just cut it. Let's just not. I'm not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah.
Are we thinking of the same thing? The one thing that Michael Bloomberg won?
Yes.
Okay. Thank
Correct.
God. Yeah.
So it's an overseas territory. That is not a part of North America.
Right.
But it is still part of the country of the United States.
Yeah. Yep.
So in a similar vein, Australia is a continent, yes, but it's also a country. And the country, Christmas Island is a part of the country, not the continent.
Of course. Understood. Well, on that note, I just graduated college.
What if I'm wrong and all the Australians, which is like 80% of people who listen to this podcast.
I know,
I feel like you cherry-picked that for them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I did, because I was like, there was a Superman-related question that I was picking between, and then there was this one, and I was like, Australia. This will be fun, considering how little
Australian
I know about the
Superman
world.
is actually just that speed skater who won the gold in the Olympics in I think 2002. It was like a huge come from behind. Do you remember that? I don't know.
No, I don't.
So there was this Olympic speed skating thing where it's like the small track where it's like tons of crashes and stuff, and this really old Australian who had a ton of injuries in his career was like way past his prime, but I think Australia just doesn't have a lot of speed skaters, so they're like, you're like 30 something but still go out there.
Yeah.
And so it was actually amazing though. Like in the semifinals he was like totally gonna lose, and then a bunch of people crashed on the last lap, and then he somehow made it to the finals, and then in the finals he was gonna come in like last place, and then everyone crashed again, and he just like glided past them like looking around, and then he won the gold medal and was like the first like speed skating gold medal in Australia history.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah, it's like my favorite Winter Olympic moment.
Wow, sports are funny. I mean, it's kind of Anyways.
Yeah, now he's a motivational speaker.
Wow. What is he?
I don't remember his name, and I don't. So really, if anyone wants to look this up, they're just gonna have to type in like Australia speed skating gold.
Right. Yeah.
What a way to start this podcast.
Yawn of the day. Yep.
Anyways, congratulations for
Thanks.
graduating. We now have the same amount of degrees.
We do. Yep. Yeah. I'm pretty excited. I'm mixed because I think there's like 3 different ways you feel when you graduate. It's like fear, sadness, but like excitement. And I'm not that scared, to be honest. I'm more excited than I am. Like things are going pretty well.
Right. That's the thing. You should be. I think I was definitely like on the other side of it.
Yeah.
But like as far as people who have like a thing kind of worked out for the immediate future, you have it kind of going on.
A bit, yeah.
You
the
know?
only thing is like, this was like I had school and then I did the YouTube and podcast on the side, and now that is my main thing.
Yeah.
And
so you're saying we should record one podcast every day with all your new free time.
Yep. Literally, like I've been done with school. I finished my last assignment like I want to say like a little less than a week ago. And I've literally just been, I mean, I was working really hard on the video this week, but I've been just so excited to record. I'm like, I can't wait to record the podcast.
Yeah. I'm ready too. It's been a while.
It's been so
I mean, there's
long,
been much
yeah.
more important things going on.
Yeah, of course. It's also just been long since we've done a non-guest episode. And I love the guest episodes, don't get me wrong. We love having guests. Mm-hmm. But these episodes go a little different, I've realized. They go for way too long.
Yeah. They're long intros.
But we never really like hit a dud. We're always on
Yeah.
track with these. Yeah.
Yeah. Our only duds are when my brother's a guest.
Yep, of course. That is he's the secret third member of the podcast that we only have on every few months. But yeah, no, it was cool. I'm bummed. Here's the thing. It's like I don't know if I'll go to grad school or not. That's kind of out of the question. But I am bummed that I like can't take classes anymore because I really liked learning.
You sound like a huge nerd.
I know. Literally in the last like 2 years, I have gotten so into taking classes. Like, I love learning, and now I can't learn anymore.
Think like one class at a time would be fun.
Okay.
Maybe even
you
two.
know what? That's fair. Yeah, because the thing this quarter I took 5 classes when we're only supposed to take 4 because I wanted to take more.
You wanted to learn more.
I wanted to learn, and it was a bad idea. Even though we're like remote and I have plenty of time, it was really hectic.
Did you need to take 5 classes to graduate on time?
No. I think
you just did it because you wanted to?
Yeah, I wanted to. I've always wanted to take experimental, that one class. Will not go.
Was
any
that
further.
fun?
Well, so I liked the fact that I could make like experimental projects.
Yeah.
It was fun to do that. And it was fun to like see some of the films he lectured. But yeah,
that one.
I think we know the aspect of this class that I didn't like, and maybe we're on the same page. Maybe I'll just bring this up to you later. But I think that is a class where it not being in person would make it a lot worse. It was
just
okay
because it's so fun in that class just to watch all the films that people make because they're all like so strange.
Yeah, exactly. I was so hoping we could like do that. And also he did things differently. Like usually you do the lectures through the campus portal thing, and he would upload the lectures to Vimeo, which I just didn't think was I'm like, that feels annoying to you. We can't speed up the lectures. Vimeo's just not a good, I don't know. But yeah, it was still a cool class.
I've never taken like an online lecture class.
Yeah.
You can speed up the lectures.
So
does it make it sound like they're like super high pitched voice?
Like literally there are some professors from this last quarter that I only know of in the high pitched chipmunk voice. And then like we had to do one like wrap up lecture at the end and over Zoom, and I was like, whoa, you talk slow. But no, they just talk normal. But yeah, I
what
always
if
put
one
it
of
on
them
double speed?
Talked at half speed so that people tried to double speed it would just sound normal?
Yeah. I had a philosophy professor like that. It was for my philosophy requirement. Well, it was a sub, but she came in regularly and she was really slow. And I was like, I learned 2 things this whole class. But
that's really slow. She only got to 2 things.
She only got 2 points across, and we were like, come on. But yeah. Anyways, that was my day. I had a really good day yesterday. So
wow, that's nice.
I graduated, hit 300K. Thank you guys. And something else. Oh, I'm one of them. Yep, Jeff is one of them. From what Jeff could be all of them. Jeff could have set up a bunch of bots, and this could all be But yeah, we celebrated with, we got cheesecake because I like cheesecake a lot. We got lasagna, and I had some wine. And all three of those together
That sounds like the heaviest.
It is the heaviest.
Possible thing you.
I ended a great day like just laying on the floor in the bathroom, thinking I had like food poisoning, but it was really just like rocks in my stomach. Anyways.
I've only had food poisoning one time.
Yeah. When?
It was from Chili's. I think I got salmonella from the chicken crispers.
Oh.
Yeah, it was when I went for my brother's like 22nd birthday up to Wisconsin because he was going to the University of Wisconsin.
Wow.
And I had to go out with all his friends like at night, and I kept just like throwing up in every bar we went to.
That's a very Jared thing to do, to go to Chili's for his birthday.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, we got the El Presidente margarita.
Wow.
Yeah, then he wrote an article about it because he used to write for like a frat website.
Mm-hmm. Total frat.
And then
right?
Chili's decided to make him an influencer, so they started sending him a bunch of free stuff.
Oh my God. Kind of like you. Well, you know what? We're going to get to that. There's a question today. I didn't send you the questions beforehand, but it has to do with you and a certain brand. Well, that's good for him. I got
you
food
didn't
poisoning
make your
from
bed, I noticed.
No. I did not. My room is a disaster right now. You can't see a lot of it. There behind the bed is a giant, all of my clothes pretty much are on the floor.
Were they somewhere else and you just hid them behind the bed?
Yeah, I was just like, yeah. No, they were like, it's been like this for like 2 weeks. And yeah, there's a Ritz crackers wrapper down there. There's a cup underneath the table. It's a really
from what
messy.
I see though, it actually is a pretty respectably like non-cluttered bedroom.
We keep it, yeah. I keep it as a, I don't know why I said we.
Yeah.
I keep it pretty nice. Yeah.
You and your roommate.
Me and my roommate, who's keep him under
you make
the
them
bed.
hide in the closet for the podcast.
Yeah. It's Nick. Yeah. What else was gonna say? Oh, are we gonna? We'll say.
Oh, you were talking about when you had food poisoning and I interrupted you.
Oh, it was. I had food poisoning at Potbelly's when I was young, and I forget what it was. I think it was chili, but it wasn't chili from Chili's. It was.
I don't think Chili's even makes chili.
Yeah.
Which is really a missed opportunity. I would totally order the Chili's chili.
I thought that was their main thing. I've never been to Chili's.
What if they served it cold and it was the Chili's chili?
And it's really calm, so it's like a chili.
Yeah,
from Chili's.
the chill Chili's chili.
Yep. But yeah, did I ever talk about my new food poisoning thing that happened in LA? Did I ever talk about that on a podcast? I might have.
No, if you did.
Yeah, it's not worth bringing up. It was just really bad. I had like this. It's not worth it. It was an Echo Park in LA, and we went to sit in a park after having a meal, and it was really bad. And I went home and moving on. I think we had a thing that we wanted to talk about, the YouTube thing. Yeah. But are we saving that for Q&A or now?
Yeah, I think we're saving that for the after movie discussion.
Understood.
As a little teaser, we're going to talk about Karsten's YouTube career.
Yes, but it involves Jeff. But yeah, I guess we could get into the movie now.
Yeah, I'm ready. I mean, I feel like anyone who clicked on this hoping that we would talk about this movie is probably ready for it as well.
Hey, we're going to have timestamps, so yeah. Today we're talking about time. Coincidentally,
timestamp.
The Graduate, from 1967, directed by Mike Nichols. It is starring Dustin Hoffman. It's pretty much a classic at this point. Not at this point. It's been a classic. It's one of the best movies of all time, I think, or it's known as being that. And it is about Benjamin, a recent college graduate, very worried about his future, finds himself in a love triangle with an older woman and her daughter.
Now, if you guys listening at home made the connection, Karsten picked this film because it's about a recent college graduate.
Yes. Yep.
Which you are now.
I am now. Yep.
Although you look a little bit younger. than
I
Dustin
do.
Hoffman.
I
in this
know.
film.
I didn't even.
And
pick
it's
that
because
up.
I think he was 29 years old when they filmed it. So he
you
was my
look
age.
more. Yeah, I was gonna say you look more like Dustin Hoffman. Kind of.
You look more like Dustin Hoffman. What if we did that for every film? So like, you know what? You look more like the main character of this film than I do.
This is okay. Is this your first time seeing this movie, Jeff?
It's my second time.
Your second time. Okay, it's
I
also
think
my
the
second
first time was probably like 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay. That's literally, I think, the same time as me. I remember I watched this after I graduated high school, but not because of that time. It was just like my parents recommended it to me. My mom really likes this movie. And now I'm watching it now.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it wouldn't have made sense if you watched it because you graduated high school.
It's a
because
different
even though it's called The Graduate, it's not about someone who just graduated
a high school graduate. But yeah, I think I have more to say about this than I thought I would. I don't know about you. What are your general thoughts on this?
I mean, it's a really good film. Is the general thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much like just on a technical level, it's just like an amazing film.
Mm-hmm. I think
like,
it's
the best of like in terms of, because I feel like sometimes when I watch films from the 60s, some of the filmmaking techniques that were very like prominent in the 60s kind of get in the way sometimes for me. Yep. In this film, it's like it's still very 60s in terms of like all these like long zooms and, you know, but it's still like it just works flawlessly. That's
a great point. Yeah. Because I mean, when I was in high school, I was not as like, I didn't watch as many old movies is what I'm getting at. And I watched this thing it did not feel like an old movie. And it holds up really well stylistically in that sense. And I think that's crucial because I think this film changes and is looked at, I feel, completely differently today because of its narrative. And we'll get into that. I guess we'll just kick that off. Do you think this film is like, besides the stylistic elements, do you think it's like aged well in terms of its story and?
I think so. We don't care about spoilers for a film that is over 50 years old, right?
Yes. Yeah. No, we don't.
Yeah, I think that overall it's aged okay.
Yeah.
I think that Elaine's character is like a little bit like, I don't know, it's kind of like a weirdly powerless character where things just kind of happen to her.
Yeah.
So it feels like, I don't know.
Right. She's definitely a little underwritten, I would say.
Yeah.
But I think like at the time, and a lot of this is referencing a review I read on Letterboxd, who I'm not like just plagiarizing here. It's just a great review by Carlos Valladares. I'll link it or something. But I think the thing, like, this was looked at in its time as kind of Benjamin's character, Dustin Hoffman's character. He was like looked at as a much more like kind of the good guy. And he still is to a certain extent, but it's like what he was doing wasn't looked at as being kind of stalkerish or like creepy, but instead like rebellious and kind of heroic because of the generational gap. And I think now it's like, I think it's kind of switched around and gotten a little bit messier because I think a younger crowd more in tune with like what's right and wrong will like say he's not the good guy at all.
Oh yeah, no, he was a huge stalker.
Right, yeah. But that's the thing, there's something about this film that is just, and this bad timing here. I'm not saying I'm a stalker, but it just feels it's very relatable. Past the graduate thing, it feels like it understands what being young is so well. Like right off the bat. Because I think, I don't know if you can relate to this, but like being in an airport, I think is such a defining moment when you're in an airport alone, like without, like you're traveling by yourself. I don't know why that opening credits just works so well. I'm like, yeah, it sets the tone for the film perfectly. And there's a lot of that in this film. But what were you gonna say?
Yeah. Well, I think in terms of him being a stalker, it's weird watching films this old in like through a modern lens where, like obviously he was being a stalker, but if someone had cell phones, then he would just like blow up her phone texting her. You know, that's like. I don't know the point exactly I'm making, but it's like he literally could not talk to her unless he went there.
Yeah.
So I feel like because now literally your first step if you were stalking someone. I don't know why I'm saying if you were stalking someone, like I somehow have the playbook for stalking, but I just mean people would totally just start texting like constantly.
Yeah.
You know, like multiple times a day, and then they would like
harassment.
after that didn't work, then they would go. That was like I guess the first step to stalking someone.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I don't know.
I see where you're going with this too.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not now today going up like that to see someone is more stalker-ish than back then.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's not necessarily making something I really appreciate about it is that it's super self-aware. I don't think the film even looks at Benjamin as being a good guy at all. I think it critiques like the younger generation just as much as it does the old, by kind of making it a bit satirical, with just how clueless he kind of is. But the film isn't wrong for that. I mean, like that's the thing. He's making dumb decisions, but like that's kind of makes the film just that much more truthful.
And the film is kind of emphasizing that he's like just making dumb decisions because he's kind of in this lost like middle area of his life where it's like he was on this path where everything is set for you. And then when you're finally released from that, it's like, where do you go? And that's kind of the internal debate that Benjamin has.
Yeah.
And of course, where he goes is to the hotel.
Yeah.
Okay, the scene where, like, when he went with Elaine to the hotel where they were all, like, saying hi to him.
Yeah.
That was so over the top.
That would never happen.
I also don't understand why that old woman who knew his real name, because he introduced her when he like pretended to be going to that, like party.
Yeah.
I don't know why she was there again.
Yeah.
She didn't work at the hotel.
No,
like,
she was just.
They had an event like a month ago.
Yeah, that is so true. Yeah, I do think the script, like, besides like little plot holes like that, I just think it's so tight. I put this film in kind of like you said earlier, it's just such a perfect film in a way. I put it in categories with like Parasite, where it just never loses your attention.
Yeah.
Like every scene is so aware of what comes before and after it. And speaking of that, just the cuts in this thing. There is the one that everyone talks about, which is him in the pool where he jumps onto the floaty and then it jumps to him on the bed. And that's not even the only cut. There are so many creative transitions.
Yeah, that cut though, it's like you could tell whenever like whoever thought of it, they were like, I got it.
Yeah. It just works so well. And then there's the other one where he's like yelling at his mom. He's like, wait a minute. And then they cut to him saying, wait a minute, to this Robinson. And I'm like, oh, that's a nice.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Also the use of Simon and Garfunkel.
I was going to bring them up. Yeah.
It's just so funny because like it's the fact that this like one of their most famous couple songs is Mrs. Robinson.
Yep. Yeah.
It's so on the nose.
Well, that's the thing. I had known about that song. I loved that song before I had seen this movie in high school. So as soon as I realized, as it clicked when I was watching this for the first time, I was like, when's it coming? And it doesn't come till like later in the film. But they tease you. They have the one scene where the whistles. And I'm like,
they do like the intro and they don't do the words.
Mm-hmm. They have that one song. I forget the something fair. Are you going to Scott's?
I know.
Scarborough Fair.
Scarborough. Yeah.
They play that song a little too much. I hear the guitars come in like 4 different times, and one of the times they just play the instrumental, but yeah. And they also play Sound of Silence a lot. They just play the same 3 songs over and over again.
Pretty much, yeah.
But
Yeah.
they work well. I don't know why Simon and Garfunkel, it just makes me so sad. Their music is so, it fits the tone of this film so well in that it's just so dreamy and melancholic. Yeah.
It'd be fun if someone just like dubbed over that song and just replaced it with Paul Simon's later catalog. Where it's like me and Julio down by the schoolyard. And you can call me Al.
Him driving to
just like
Berkeley.
the big like duh 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 duh.
Yeah. But I just thought they and the other thing is like the Sound of Silence has become like kind of a meme of a song. Like it's been overplayed to death and in a bunch of bad like TikToks, and I was expecting it to come across kind of cheesy now.
Right.
But it still feels so right in this film.
What? Because there are a few songs that are like that where they were, I think at the time when they were used in films, were very like emotionally meaningful.
Yeah.
And then now it's like when you're watching it, it's like a little bit ruined by just how. Because I think the big one that comes to mind is whenever Happy Pola is used in anything, which is that Sigur Rós song where it's like this piano. It's very like a very memorable piano.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. But
because there was a different one of their songs that was used at the end of The Life Aquatic.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So, but it's like their even more famous song than that. It's just like, it's such a good
overplayed.
song, but it's been used in so many different things where it's just like insane.
Yeah. There's the one, it's like, I think it was in Donnie Darko. It's like, all around me are familiar.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And that one's a complete joke at this point.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
also used in all the Gears of War commercials.
Oh. Yeah. But I think Sound of Silence holds up well. Yeah. What was I, okay, the cinematography is so good.
It's so good.
It's so good. Like we said, it just it doesn't feel like a 60s film, and it also just doesn't feel like anything today.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is it feels like a film like made later about the 60s, because the 60s aesthetic is like so prominent in this film.
Yeah.
Which I think that for me, objectively, the 60s is the coolest looking decade.
I'd agree. I do like the 70s aesthetic a lot, but yeah, 60s were pretty good.
So, but yeah, it's just like, I don't know, it just feels, the thing is, it doesn't even feel like a relevant film today. It just feels more of like some kind of time capsule.
Yeah.
Like, I think that some of the sentiments of it, but as a film, to me, it doesn't feel like this incredibly relevant film, because the way people have affairs now is just so different.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, like, even if you're having an affair, you can't relate to like these weird like phone calls where you're dialing a rotary phone.
Yeah.
Like, people just like have a phone and they just go, "You up?" But then they close the Messenger app and open up a different app, and
yeah.
which this film made today with the same plot but with a cell phone would be really funny.
What was I? Oh, okay. I think like while we're on the topic of the cinematography, what was that noise?
That was a dog barking.
Oh, okay.
My sister's dog is here with my parents' dog.
Oh, I always forget you have a sister. The Borslow family is it. Usually, but the cinema. What I was going to say is it like sets the mood so well. Like, I don't know why. There's the one specific shot in the hotel hallway where he's walking to the room, and it just makes you feel so anxious. Like, it takes him forever to get to the room, and the world always feels either way too big for him or too small. And I think that does such a great job at making you feel what you're supposed to.
Yeah, the use of like really long lenses also to like compress space is like,
yeah,
you know, where it takes him like a long time to get places. Mm-hmm. And then also just like when he's outside at Berkeley, when they like have that super long zoom where they just follow him, where like they just like set the camera up with like a 1,000 millimeter lens like a mile away.
It was insane. They do that a lot. There's the one, and I know that's like a very 60s style, I guess. But there's the one where it cuts to Mrs. Robinson's reaction where she says goodbye, Benjamin, after the whole falling out. And it's like super tight on her. And then they zoom out and she's like so far away from him.
I know that felt like my like Canon 24 to 105 lens.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I love this film a lot. I didn't know how it would age because I gave it like I really loved it in high school my freshman year, and I was like maybe I wouldn't love it as much now. But I do think it's just such a solid. Even though it's like yeah we're not supposed to love Benjamin. He's a really bad dude. Like there really isn't anyone to love besides Elaine in the film. She's the only one we can really empathize with. I will say I wish because I think Mrs. Robinson is like she is in a way the antagonist, but she's a really like powerful figure in this film, especially for that time. I feel like I wish they did a little bit more with her.
Yeah, it didn't really feel like there was like conclusion to her character growth throughout this film.
Yeah, I think she like all the things she did, and I owe a lot of this to what's her name? Whoever played Anne Bancroft. Yeah. She brought so much to the character, and there was like reasons behind what she did, but the film never really explores those reasons, and that's the only thing I really wish it would have touched on, because she was probably my favorite character in the thing. But yeah, I also
just loved all the scenes with the pool.
Oh my god, yes. I wish we could still... I, halfway through this movie, started looking up those goggles. I wish we still had goggles that were just one giant thing. They looked uncomfortable for your nose, but...
Yeah, they didn't look great.
No, but it looked cool.
Well, okay, so... like, my dad actually has, like, one that's like a scuba mask that's like a whole... It's, like, not just the eyes even bigger. It's, like, your whole face.
Whole mouth. So can you, like... I don't know how that...
Well, then there's a snorkel that comes out the top. So it's just, like, a snorkel mask.
Have you ever gone snorkeling?
I have. I did it once in the Bahamas.
Nice.
And it was like, you know, it's like near like a reef and stuff. But the thing is that I kind of like just learned because I never would swim with like flippers on.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like it's very weird swimming with flippers when you're not used to it. But
right.
I did the thing where if you bend it the waist down, that's how you like dive while snorkeling.
Oh yeah,
and but the thing is with flippers, like I just kicked a few times and I forgot with flippers how fast that will bring you down. So I ended up accidentally diving like 12 feet. I was like, oh no, yeah, and I was like, oh crap, because I was a snorkel, so you can't breathe underwater. So then I kind of like panicked and had to like fly back up to the top.
That's very scary to me. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been bad, especially because like when they're on your feet, you don't have like great control, so it's not easy to like point yourself back up to go back up.
You have to, especially like, turning around, you have to like, it's a whole thing. Yeah.
Other than that, it was fun. After that, I didn't dive anymore.
You're traumatized. Yeah, I used to snorkel a lot as a kid when we went to Mexico a few times, and that was great. I saw a big turtle, and I have been... I think I've talked about this. I have a fear of large bodies of water, so I don't do that anymore. Sea creatures are just...
what was it? It wasn't the turtle that caused this, was it?
No. Turtles are scary, though. It's big, like, turtles that live in, like, the ocean. Those are great.
Like sea turtles?
Sea turtles. That's what they're called. Turtles that live in the sea. It's
ocean turtles.
It's snapping turtles and and, like, just anything in freshwater lakes. Just awful creatures. Coral freaks me out. I don't know why.
Yeah. I think something scary is like barracudas.
Barracudas, yeah. They
have super, and like swordfish. Because here's the thing, right? And then this is something if you are snorkeling somewhere that's like tropical, where you might run into those, you have to make sure that you take off like any like jewelry or anything that's shiny.
Yep. Because
they might run into you.
Yeah.
It's just, a quick Karstcast tip.
My mom, every time she goes, she takes off all her rings.
Yep.
Because, it's terrifying. Those and, like, eels. I don't know why I'm scared of eels, and I don't think I'll ever run into an eel.
No, I don't think so.
But they're terrifying to me.
Oh, the other time I was snorkeling in the Bahamas, we all, like, got off the boat and started swimming to, like, this one spot. It was, like, a really strong current because it was, like, more in the middle of, like, the ocean.
Yeah.
And then everyone saw a shark, so we all swam
Christ.
back to the boat.
See, sharks are really scary. I mean, no shit, but I never want to be at that point in my life.
Luckily, though, in this film, there wasn't a shark in his pool.
That would be a different film. Yeah, that would be. Things would.
That's Sharknado.
But yeah, I had one more thing. No, I really didn't. Never mind.
I had one last thing, and it was just going to be bringing it back to Ishtar.
Yep, here we go. Oh, because
So,
Dustin Hoffman was in Ishtar.
Not just Dustin Hoffman.
But
So a very famous comedy team in like the 50s was like Mike Nichols, who directed this film, and Elaine May, who directed Ishtar. Now, there's a film that I've seen that I saw like the best preserved print of at the Music Box, and it was The Heartbreak Kid.
Okay.
Which is a 1972 film starring Charles Grodin, who was also in Ishtar, directed by Elaine May. Now that film, it actually is like quite similar, where there's like love triangle thing happening, and it's really funny. But then Charles Grodin was also in Catch-22, directed by Mike Nichols, and he was also in Heaven Can Wait, directed and starring Warren Beatty, also in Ishtar. So I'm calling this the Nichols and May cinematic universe.
They all come together. Wow. And there's probably more that we don't even know about, maybe.
Yeah, probably. That was all I found in 5 minutes of research.
Dang. And there's a character in this movie named Elaine. I mean,
there you go.
Odds, you know
and
what I mean?
she may marry Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah. Well, I gave this here. I did downgrade my score from a 5 to a 4.5. I think the Mrs. Robinson thing is just, once I like came to realize that, I couldn't call this, like, it's just something that would make this film so good if they gave her some more time, even though I know Benjamin's the focus.
Like, as you said, a little bit too much of an antagonist in this film.
Yeah. Especially near the... Okay, let's actually real quick just talk about the third act, specifically like the last 10 minutes. It goes completely off the rails, in my opinion, and becomes a little too cartoonish. It's not enjoyable. I like it. I think it works, but it does get just wild.
Yeah.
I don't know if you agreed or not.
I do, but I also, your comment that you plagiarized from Letterboxd, that actually was a really good point.
Not my... Yeah.
Where it is, I do see like how the late 60s was a time when it was like the younger generation was breaking away from the older generation.
Yeah.
So there was more leeway because the younger generation just automatically was like the protagonist in this film because they were young.
Yep.
So I think that gave them a lot more leeway to seem like, the protagonists, even when not necessarily what they were doing was indicative of a protagonist on a neutral playing field.
Yeah.
But the playing field was not even, it was slanted towards youth.
Yep.
I somehow just made that about sports again.
Well, yeah, what did you give it? In terms of
I gave it 4 touchdowns out of 5. No, I gave it 4.5 touchdowns. That would be what? Touchdowns are 6 points.
That's
times 4, that's 24 and a half.
Did they get the
that's
free point?
27.5 points. No, that's 20. What am I talking about? I was talking about 7. 7's with a field goal. There's no field goals in this.
I called it a free
27
point.
points.
It's called a field goal. Yeah, okay. So you give it 27 points. All right. We should just rate movies like that from now on in football
Like really
scores.
confusing, yeah. It's like it's 4.5 3-pointers.
Nice. All right. I still
And then
don't know what it
my favorite movie
is.
I just say they won the 3-point contest.
Cool. They got a home run.
Anyways, 4.5 stars.
4.5 stars. That's The Graduate. Well,
4.5 would be a grand slam, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Shall we move on to questions? We got a pretty hefty question segment today. I mean, well, we have let's talk about The Thing first. The
like
thing
the
we
movie,
wanted
The
to,
Thing?
Let's talk about John Carpenter's The Thing, which we also watched today. Kidding. What did you want to bring up? I'm going to let you take the wheel on this because... Yeah.
Well, so, I was thinking...
Right.
You do YouTube.
I do.
This podcast is on YouTube.
Yeah.
Maybe at some point in the near future, I should start also doing YouTube.
Mm-hmm. That'd be awesome.
So, I mean, my content would probably not be movie related. Mm-hmm. Because I don't know anything about movies, as people who've listened to this podcast are very aware of.
You do know a lot about Elaine May and Warren Beatty.
Yeah, which I've only seen like, I think I've only seen two Elaine May films, so I gotta round that out.
But
and I think I've only seen one Mike Nichols film. This one.
Yeah, I looked
just
it up.
watched
I
the
haven't
whole
seen any
catalog.
of those. Yeah, grind through them.
But anyways, mine might be more like traveling related, and of course, this would be something that would really kick off when you are allowed to travel again.
Yeah, definitely not the time to do it right now.
Not right now, but hopefully in the next few months, if things go well.
Yeah, I love this idea. I really do, because, and I'm sure, I don't know how familiar you are with travel channels on YouTube, but they are all the same. They are very, most of the time, just cheesy and fake. And I feel like yours would be really funny. And
that's what I would hope for. I've seen like a few. I'm gonna definitely do like a deeper dive into like the more popular travel ones, but a lot of them don't seem that, like, I don't know, they seem like fun for the people traveling, and it's like interesting because like they have, you know, some advice and stuff and like their experiences, but they all seem to be coming at it from sort of a similar place.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is just not necessarily like the humor side of it.
Yep. But so we were going to talk a little bit about YouTube as a way of like,
because, you know, I asked this separately. I was like, hey, Karsten, you know how YouTube works, as far as I know.
Yeah.
You're the most successful YouTuber I know. Although, to be fair, technically, as someone who is part of this podcast, I'm also now the second most successful YouTuber I know.
That is, yeah. Well,
because
we do, well,
this podcast has over 1,000 subscribers now.
You do technically know personally the guests we've had on this podcast. And we do have more successful YouTubers.
Okay, that's sure. If we're counting guests as people I now know,
yeah,
which they are, then I'm like top 5 still, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Regardless, I'm not a successful YouTuber as of yet.
Right.
So I figured I'd get some advice.
Yeah. So
from my good friend Karsten Rundquist, recent college graduate and recent 300,000 subscriber mark milestone achiever.
That's me.
And I figured, well, actually, you figured that our great listeners might also want to hear this insight.
That is true.
I was going to hoard it for myself. But anyways, I'm going to pass it over to you and just talk a little bit about, you know, starting YouTube and how that works.
Sure thing. What I've realized since I started YouTube is it is literally like it's 10% like the video and like 90% like marketing yourself. It got real businessy real fast. Like a lot of it is like how you like title the video, the thumbnail, and where you share it. The thing, okay, so like how I like started on YouTube was I made that La La Land video and checking my watch. Separate discussion. And I I posted it on a bunch of different like subreddits. Typically more like niche subreddits, like the La La Land subreddit, which had like 1,000. Like there's a
La La Land subreddit.
It was a very tight knit community, but I posted it there, and because it's so tight knit, and because this was like such a passionate video about La La Land, it like took off on there. So they like, and that brought some people in. It's like, and I did that to like a bunch of different niche I did it like the Ryan Gosling subreddit and like the filmmaker. Those are bigger, but that's just how I did it. It's just like starting to get like a ball rolling. But I think a huge thing that, and I think I talked about this on another thing at one point, is just like consistency, which is something I had to adapt on early on. And it wasn't like a chore because I was having so much fun making videos.
Yeah. And just to be clear, you're talking about consistency in terms of like releasing videos on like a reasonably like scheduled level.
Yeah. And it's definitely gotten a lot sharper now. Like now I upload every Saturday, or I try to. And then, but like the way I looked at it is like I had the La La Land video, like that did okay, but then I made the BoJack video, that did fine, and then like Pixar, and then I forget what order I went in, but it's like they all kind of start. you want to like make them also consistent in how they look and like how they sound. Like you have to like make a voice for yourself, which
Right. So
for
it's
Jeff
kind of like a TV show.
Yeah, exactly. And you do that because like if one of those videos like takes off, like if you see like my La La Land video, then it's like most likely in the recommended you'll have the BoJack video. You'll watch that and like try to make them in a way where it's like someone will want to watch the next one. That seems like very basic advice, but it's just like it's a snowball effect.
Yeah.
And that's why it takes a little bit, because you have to make enough videos to where someone can marathon or binge what you do. Because a lot of like, I get a lot of messages of people who really like my video. There's a bee outside. And they're like, I've just like binged all your videos like in one day or like one night. And that's that. And speaking from my own experience, that's when I subscribe to people and where I become like a,
Like a fan.
Yeah. Which is, it's like when people make like two or three videos and they're like, it's not going anywhere. I'm like, well, yeah, because it's like, who's gonna subscribe to someone because they saw one video of theirs? Like that happens,
Right.
but it's like usually kind of rare.
Right, because subscribing is not liking a video someone made. Subscribing is wanting, like, knowing enough about them to want to see future videos.
Yeah. And that's kind of, there's consistency to it, but now that I've been doing it for a long time, I've tried to like vary my stuff, and this is only speaking if you're like trying to get like really into it, but I've like varied it so it's like some people might come to my channel for the reviews or the goofy videos or the like really pretentious deep ones or like the, I don't know, but yeah, I guess that's like starting off. We can also get into, you wanted to talk about the monetization. A lot of people ask me about the monetization aspect.
Yeah.
That is Jesus, is that bee inside or it's a giant bug. He's just slowly. Yeah, that usually, so a lot of people ask me like how the AdSense works, and typically it is $1 per 1,000 view. That's typically. But it also like completely depends. So if you get a video that gets like say 50,000 views, you get $50 from it. But if that video is longer, if it's longer, you can place more ads on it, and you make double that or something. But also, if that video is blowing up a lot and it's doing really well in the algorithm, which is another thing I'll talk about, then it'll probably make more money. Because I've had videos that got like 50,000 views in one day, but made like $70, and I'm like, okay, I don't know how it works, but what I'm saying is it like kind of depends, but that's roughly what you work off of. And then, of course, you factor in, like, sponsorships and stuff like that. But the algorithm is literally, like, where, especially once you get into it, after you've, like, gained a following and you do it regularly. Like, say you have, like, this is when you get, like, 5,000 followers. Getting a phone call. Like, once you're, like, doing it regularly, you kind of, like, depend on the algorithm. And that's when it gets annoying and when people start to hate YouTube. Because most of the time, like, a video's success, even if it's like a super clickable, like interesting video that you think a lot of people would like, it might get screwed over because YouTube is just not putting it in people's recommended feeds or their home pages, and that's what makes it not a not great job or like thing. It just makes it unpredictable and kind of, yeah, it's my least favorite part about doing this, is that I never know how a video is going to perform. But the more you do it, the more subscribers you have a guaranteed amount of people that will watch it. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what I have generally right now. I feel like I said a whole lot of nothing, but that's kind of what I got.
Yeah.
But my advice for people like just starting out, whether it's like Jeff or like you guys listening, because I
spam the La La Land Reddit, right?
Yeah, just get on the La La Land Reddit. Yeah, also the video essay subreddit is super welcoming to that type of content. I'm sure there's like a travel specific, there's like a specific thing for everybody, and everyone on that Reddit will probably be interested in what you do.
Yeah, well, when I made the I'm Just a Mantis music video, I put it on the Mantis subreddit.
I can't
Now,
tell if you're joking or not.
here's the thing. I'm actually not joking because I thought it was really funny. And then like a few of them actually were like, hey, this is funny.
Oh my God. That's
We like this because there's mantises
funny.
in it.
Wow.
Now, I did learn from that subreddit that the plural is mantises or mantids with a D.
That, I didn't know about that either.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you go to the mantis subreddit, you're going to learn something.
Do you genuinely like mantises? Or is that just a... No, okay. I didn't know.
They're kind of weird looking. I don't dislike them, but I don't... No, that was... I just thought that would be a funny animal
Yeah.
to pretend that I was really into.
Barely an animal. What the fuck is that bug? Hold on.
It's not a mantis if it's flying. Wait, do mantises fly?
I don't know, but it
They
has
might.
the
I don't
legs
know.
of a mantis. But it's so big. It's a
Mantises are pretty big. I
I
don't
know.
remember offhand
But
how big
like,
they are.
I've never seen a mantis on my window. They don't do that.
That could be my next single.
Mantis on a window. Yeah, I'm wearing my squeaky shoes.
So now, in terms of the success of your La La Land video, when you were talking about like that kind of blew up a little bit, like how many views are you talking?
I freaked out. This is funny. I freaked out when it got like 10,000 after like a week. Not even a week. It took like 2 weeks. I was freaking out at the fact that I think I got like 1,000 in 3 days or something like that, which is so small. But the fact that like I was paying like really, the thing is, I've been doing YouTube for like since high school, just kind of uploading fun videos. I did like daily 30-second edits for a while, and did like fan-made music videos. Like I've been like just testing the waters for a while. And then when I made that video, like the fact that it got 1,000 in 3 days was like a huge leap compared to what I was making. So what I'm saying is like that was how I measured it.
And because that's, I guess coming at it from someone who doesn't have any, like you are kind of a self-made YouTuber.
Yeah. Thanks to the La La Land subreddit.
Thanks to the Lala. You should go thank them. Like, post a picture of you with like your YouTube plaque.
Yeah. Yep.
Be like, thanks, guys.
I remember, I think 10,000 was when I was like, this is really good. And then when it like, that's the thing. I don't know when it specifically became like when I called myself a YouTuber. It took until like 3.5, 4 months later when I made my Edgar Wright video, and that really took off and got like 100,000 in like less than a week. And that was, I mean, that's still a cool thing to get nowadays, but yeah. I guess that's what I got.
And now it's your job.
And now I guess, now it's my thing. But yeah, that's...
Now you have all the fans stopping you in the street.
I will say...
You're that guy.
You're that guy.
Who says the things on YouTube.
Yeah. I haven't... It's weird. Like, there was a point where I would get like... Anytime I'd go to like a movie or like a movie-related thing, I'd make sure to wear something cool. But now I don't even... no one's going to see me. So, yeah. My point is, it's very unpredictable, and it takes a minute. And I still think I got lucky with how it took like 4 to 5 months to get up to like 10,000 subs. But it's kind of like a snowball. Like
That's the thing. It seems like that. It's like if you can get to around like 10,000 is when it starts just kind of like... And your stuff obviously is good.
Yeah.
Then it seems like that's like how you kind of gain traction.
Yep. I'm amazed I got that with those early videos because the quality was awful. They were awful videos looking back at it. But actually, I take it back. The La La Land was pretty good, but never mind. Yeah. I am happy to like talk about this more if anyone on the subreddit has any questions and stuff. But yeah, I would like to just like that one kid on our subreddit, Stop Motion Samurai, like I've been watching all his videos that he posts in the subreddit, and he's posting to like the Karstcast. It's like super niche. Like he's doing exactly what I'm telling right now.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea because like people like watching that stuff, at least on our subreddit. But yeah. Anyways, if that's it, we can move on to the questions.
Yeah, let's go to questions.
Awesome. This one comes from _racecar, and it is, if you had to play one board game of your choosing for your life, which would it be? Are you that into board games, Jeff?
Not usually, but I mean, I've played some more, extravagant board games like Pandemic.
Oh yeah. I think we've talked. Yeah.
Well, I played that with my family once, and then they all hated it because it was too confusing for them.
Nice. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever played Catan.
I have not. My roommates all did, and then but I didn't know how to play, so I'm like, I don't want to make your game have to just be teaching me how to play this game.
It is like a hard game to pick up. Like the first round will always be miserable. And that's why I hate showing it to people, because it's like no one ever likes the first round. But once you get to like this, you play it a second time, it's so good. So when I get back to Chicago, we should play it. Yeah.
I mean, when it's like a feasible thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, back. It's kind of weird. Yeah, we'll see. It's like,
will we still be doing the pod remote? Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll have to see it, where we're at.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess Catan, I have a great time every time. I haven't played it in a long time, but
yeah, it sounds fun. I mean, everyone I know who plays that game likes it.
Yeah.
So even though I've never played it, I'm going to say that as well.
You have a lot to learn. That'd take up a good amount of the rest of your life.
Like that's the first few are just going to be me learning how to play.
Yeah. This next one comes from Mr. Fred Flintstone, and it is, do you like Capri Suns? Now, I haven't had a Capri Sun in a long time. And I was never
I loved them when I was young.
You loved them?
As everyone does. I love them growing up.
I didn't like them that much when I was growing up.
Yeah, it was always, now I wouldn't ever want it. Like, I would rather just have like real juice rather than some kind of like syrup.
Weird chemical, yeah.
That's like, yeah.
I just didn't respect the pouch. I don't know. The straw was always so hard to get in for me. Yep. But maybe that was a me problem.
So real quick, the name was Fred Flintstone of this person asking.
Yep.
Do you remember how we watched the live action Flintstones movie?
Yeah, that is one of our more forgettable episodes, I would say. I forgot we did that.
I actually recorded that from a bed in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Like, there wasn't a desk in this place I was staying, so I had to like lay on a bed. And I remember because we didn't do video yet, obviously.
Yeah.
But you could see my video, and it was like super dark. Like, you couldn't see me.
Oh my god.
Because there was no lights like in this room. It was just like one small like 40-watt light bulb.
I wish we had video when we were doing that. That would have been so good. But I wouldn't have... The uploading the videos would have been miserable. But god damn, that would have been such a fun time.
Yeah.
To look
but
back
anyways, my point about this is that, there's a sequel to that movie, right?
With like the same cast?
Yes.
Like,
it's Viva Rock Vegas. It's supposed to be about like Las Vegas, but it's the Stone Age.
This up. Viva Rock. Are you kidding me with John?
Yeah, it's
dude.
And like Rick Moranis.
Wait, no, was John Goodman in the first one?
Yeah, John Goodman was Fred Flintstone.
He's not in this new one.
He's not? Wait, no. Did they replace him? Did he refuse to do it?
There's Stephen Baldwin, Kristen Johnson, Mark Addy, Jane Krakowski, Alan Cumming. Yeah.
The Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas. They
Rosie O'Donnell?
Changed all the... Rosie O'Donnell was in the original one.
Oh, you're right, she was. Jesus. John Cho? What? This is...
What?
This is so funny. This was 2000? It made...
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Mark Addy replaced John Goodman. And Stephen Baldwin replaced Rick Moranis. Wow. So, I feel like going from Rick Moranis to Stephen Baldwin is a strange choice.
Yeah. Wait. It says... Oh, there's just...
It makes... There's a much more threatening presence there than there used to be.
Damn. They have just a... John Taylor is in it, the musician. But not John Taylor Thomas. Yeah. Anyways.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
So yeah. I don't know. Wait, you said the reason I'm bringing this up, and I thought it would have something to do with Capri Sun, but it does not.
No, it was just the username of the...
Oh, that's right. The
person who asked the question.
Mr. Fred.
It just made me think of it.
Flintstone, yeah. We have one more, and it is from Sophie Tunyan, and it is, Karsten, what do you think of Nissan Cubes? And also, like, can you explain the Jeff the Cube Man thing? I feel like we've explained it before, but
I feel like we have.
I'd be down to
like another.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this would have been like 3.5 years ago, I guess. I thought it was funny to create a Twitter account where I pretended I really liked Nissan Cubes. So I just took a bunch of selfies with it and then got like a few hundred followers or like 200 followers, and like a bunch of them would also send me pictures of Nissan Cubes.
Yep.
And then this is like when Baby Driver came out. So I just thought it'd be funny to tweet at Edgar Wright about how I loved it, but like why weren't there any cubes in it? And then he just responded saying that would be the sequel called Cube Driver starring me. So then like the next day I spent 10 hours like green screening myself into the Baby Driver trailer.
Yeah, you did a really good job with it too.
I did a really good job for the first scene. And the problem is that like it would have taken me forever to like do more than that, because I just like kind of clone stamped out you. I clone stamped out you for all the people who say that you look like, I'm blanking on his name.
Ansel.
Ansel,
yes.
Yeah. Ansel.
I was blanking on his name too.
Yeah, so I clone stamped out Ansel, and then I just put myself in there. I actually like lit the first scene of them like sitting around the table, like so it kind of blends pretty well if you watch on a phone.
Yeah.
There's one point where I forgot to actually extend the green screen, so you see like a counter in my room like behind me.
I think I know.
Like a TV stand.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just because I did this all in one night, so I was going as fast as I could.
Yeah.
Anyways, it like turned out pretty well, and then like the car company Nissan like retweeted it, which is funny,
so
but like
funny.
No one cared because no one follows Nissan for comedy content. It turns out. So I was like, oh, because they had like 700,000 followers.
Just a bunch
so
of
like,
car
okay.
fans.
Yeah, so like literally no one cared. It got like 150 likes, even though they have 700,000 followers.
Man. Best part about that video is the part where she keeps saying baby, and you're like, no, it's Jeff. It's such a good video.
But yeah, so if you want to see that, that's at CubeJeff on Twitter. The video is still there somewhere.
That was my introduction to you. I remember Jack, she told me about that before I knew who you were. And she's like, my friend made this. And I was like, that's really funny. He seems like a funny guy. And I didn't meet you until like a year later. Because, Jesus Christ, I was really young when you made that. Man. I wasn't that young. I was starting my YouTube channel. But yeah. Cool. Well, that's I like Nissan Cubes. I would like a Nissan Cube.
Yeah, they like stopped making them, at least I think in Japan even now, but in the US they stopped making them in like 2015.
Oh shit.
Like before I even made that video.
Yeah. And speaking of Edgar Wright though, someone asked if that photo I tweeted was him on the podcast. It was not.
It was definitely not.
Yeah, we wish.
I felt bad that someone was maybe expecting that, so immediately I saw that and was like, no.
Please don't get your expectations
up. Please don't
up.
think that.
Yeah.
If anything, it's the opposite of that. There's no guest.
That was, if anyone was curious, that was from a talk he did at the Champs-Élysées Film Festival, which I didn't.
Wow, such good French pronunciation.
Champs-Élysées. Yep. It's not that good.
That's a very good song by Joe, like Dassin.
I don't know.
He's very famous in France.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And
hence
but he's actually American.
Yep. Not okay. Interesting.
There you go.
Well, that's what we have for Q&As. Are we doing meme of the week? This is a long episode as is.
This is a really long episode.
So, you know what? We're going to save it for next episode.
Yep. Next episode.
Because Jesus Christ, I just realized we've been going for an hour. So we're going to wrap things up. We'll read a review to encourage you guys to leave reviews. This one comes from Hal B with a smiley face. Subject line is love it, 5 stars, and it is, I've been a fan of Karsten from day one of his YouTube channel and never got around to the podcast until this year due to COVID-19. I've spent the past few months listening to every single episode in order. Wow. I'm a huge fan and show every single one of my friends Jeff's volcano Instagram story. Keep up the amazing work, guys. Thank you so much. That was a good one.
That was really nice. Yeah, that volcano thing. I'm kind of proud of that because it's just like so dumb.
It's so good though.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was a very nice review.
Made our day.
What if it was like 1 star? Just because they didn't know how to like use the review properly.
Well, we had the one. It's funny. Our most popular episode is the one with Wyatt, and that was the one where we read a review that was like 4 stars, and it was like, yeah, it's pretty good. And I was like, all right, cool. Cool. Next, we'd just like to thank our patrons. our lovely patrons. If you would like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/Karstcast, where we have exclusive access to bonus episodes, Q&As, shout-outs at the end of every episode, and much, much more. So we would just like to thank Allison Grace, Annabelle Falk, Boat, Connor Holmes, Dr. Aneurysm, Eden, Ethan Kell, Hannah E., Holly Edwards. I wasn't lying when I said I would make my name really long for hashtag meme of the week, so here it is, a really long name I don't even know. Iron Tusk 93, Iva, Jacob Colness, Joshua Krizwicki, Josie Eiler, June Australian Winter, Liv Rob, Martin Deff, Mary Lee Borslow, Moses Ox, Ready Steady Ernie, Robert Burke, Sergio Palacio, Sophia Arieta, The Rat from Ratatouille, Vegard Strom, Vera S., and What's the Matter.
Thanks you,
so
patrons.
much, guys.
I love this list because it has just like a nice, you get into like a really nice rhythm with it. Mm-hmm. And then there's like a nice like turn for the final stretch when you get to Krizwicki.
Dude, I'm so glad you brought that up. Just today, before like a 10 minutes while I was waiting before recording this, I was like going over the list and I was like, Joshua Krizwicki, like trying to get it right. And,
yeah, because it's like one where you have to slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But you still like stay in rhythm, which is nice.
Yep.
It's kind of like swimming when you think about it.
It's kind of like flippers in the ocean.
It's kind of like snorkeling.
And yeah, it's like snorkeling.
And unlike me, you didn't start drowning.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. That does it for the 65th episode.
65th. Think about how many hours of us talking to each other there are on the internet at this point.
It's oh my god, you could go days. Like talk. I was thinking I'm doing the road trip from here to Chicago, and that's 6 hours. I'm like, what if I just listened to 6 of our episodes? That would be painful.
That'd be weird.
It'd be weird. I don't know why I would do that. Anyways, but
you like blast them like it's music.
Windows down. Where it's like Jesus. Cool. Well, I have nothing else to say. Do you have anything else to say, Jeff?
I mean, not anything relevant to the podcast.
No. I mean, we could keep going, but
we could keep going forever.
Keep going.
Catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side.
Flip side.
Awesome.